Hi guys, I'm Libby.
And I'm Michael.
And welcome to Punsy's Palace, where we do all things Disney, hence the Punsy, and all things regarding my life and home, hence my palace. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe down below for more Disney and lifestyle content. Alright, so today we are hopefully going to be talking about the last 3 books of Heroes of Olympus.
I don't know.
You wrote
a book of it in and of itself in your notes for Mark of Athena.
Because it's my favorite book, but we're going to try to get through these last 3. Let's talk about these because Mark of Athena is my favorite out of the 5. Probably because it's a lot of Annabeth, and Annabeth is my favorite character, and she kind of like runs the show in this book and is amazing. And also we get the whole 7 all together.
Out of the 10 books, is it your favorite?
Yes.
I put it as my second favorite. My favorite is The Last Olympian.
That one is so good.
It delves into what makes her special, because all the other 6
have like tangible things they can do. Percy can control the freaking ocean.
That heals him. He can summon hurricanes. Jason can control the weather, the wind. He can fly. He can shoot lightning. Piper,
she can do exceptional charm speak, and then Leo has fire hands as well as can like fix everything.
To fire. He can fix anything.
Frank can transform and do pretty much any animal.
And he is also excellent at strategery.
Yeah, strategy. And then Hazel can summon pretty much anything from underground and can feel everything underground. So she
can create her own tunnels.
Yeah, so they all have like really tangible powers. And so you're like, okay, Annabeth is smart, and that's all you really think about her.
She's got a really cool laptop and a dagger.
Yeah, and so you're like, okay.
And her invisibility cap doesn't work.
But then this book really shows you, like, Annabeth can hold her own. Annabeth is just as strong as all of the other demigods in the 7, and it is so wonderfully written.
But it also shows her doubt. Like, it shows her questioning, like, everybody else is, like, baller.
Yeah.
And doing incredible things, and I'm just sitting here.
I think all of the demigods, like, it's a trait for a demigod to have doubt about their powers, because all of them have that at one point.
And I like that, too, because it's a very human thing to
It's a very humbling thing. I think it makes you like them a little bit more, because they are so humble.
It makes you relate to them.
Percy and Annabeth's reunion was everything, and I love it. I couldn't contain myself with Percy's we've got a damn hole line, because it was a reference to the whole damn joke from the first series.
I need to reread the first series. I don't remember that too.
It was so funny. Annabeth and Percy are everything.
The first 4 lines all include Annabeth.
Yes. It's my favorite book because there's so many good monster attack sequences.
Yeah.
The entire aquarium chapter with Keto and Forces, so cool. The battle with the nymphs and Narcissus. Narcissus was a really cool chapter. God. The flashback sequence to see who Sammy was to Hazel.
The build-up of that, because it wasn't just, oh, she sees Leo, she knows who he is. She doesn't know who it is. It makes Frank uncomfortable. Leo's like, Frank could kill me, but I kind of like this girl.
Yeah. And he's like, Hazel's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. The whole Hercules debacle thing with the river god, I don't know how to say his name, and the cornucopia, which was like a really cool weapon. And
also making Hercules kind of a jerk. I like that, because everything else about Hercules is like,
he's amazing, especially because
he's fantastic.
The Disney movie of Hercules makes you think like Hercules
he's
is the coolest thing.
Basically Captain America and Thor wrapped into one.
Which I will preface, because I am a Disney stan, the Disney Hercules, he's amazing. I love him. We're talking about like
the Percy Jackson.
And the thing is, like, for the other 2 books, like, I loved the books overall in general, but to me, it was only, like, 1 or 2 scenes really stood out to me as, like, I love these scenes. Mm-hmm. And in Mark of Athena, it was, like, every scene, every chapter, every new thing that was happening was my favorite. And I was like, this is so cool. And it just kept building on itself of being like, that was such a good chapter. Now this is such a good chapter.
It's kind of why all of these book series get better as the books go on. It's that the author's freed from world building.
Yeah.
And it's established, especially for these, once you leave the Eastern Seaboard, you are going places that are far more dangerous to demigods than you're used to, which is why Rick Riordan can get away with like every chapter having them fight something. And it's constant something's going on, and it's such good pacing because it just races through.
And I just love that there were a lot more like different kinds of monsters that were introduced, because they are running the gambit of trying to get to Europe, and so there's so many different kind of monsters that they can interact. Yeah. I suffer from arachnophobia like big time. As horribly as uncomfortable as the scene made me, The whole Arachne plot and sequence with Annabeth was like amazing and just showed how clever and amazing Annabeth is, even under the pressure of being around a giant freaking spider.
And it's a callback to Frank feeling insignificant.
Yes.
Fingers.
Yes, because oh my god, Frank and Annabeth's interaction about that whole Chinese finger trap thing was
wholesome.
It was so wholesome, and her
great.
being like, "It's okay, I think you're really smart and everything." That was so cute. And then the fact that he like figures out the Chinese finger trap, and that's such a moment between them, and that helps her defeat Arachne at the end is amazing.
Just the whole period of her once she leaves Percy in Rome. It's just showing that Annabeth is on a completely different level.
I also love when he was reading these for the first time just like a few weeks ago. He texted me and he was like, so Annabeth meets Arachne, and then there's 100 pages until we get her point of view again.
It's literally 100 pages.
The Giants battle with Jason and Percy was also really cool.
In the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Percy and Annabeth's date in Rome.
Adorable. Goals. But I did feel like Jason and Percy defeating the Giants felt a little easier than the past two books defeating the Giants. Which, like, I guess makes sense because they are a little bit stronger now. And they both have experience defeating giants.
And they're also used to fighting together. And also, you're putting two children of the big three.
I don't know. It felt a little easy to beat.
Well, also, those giants weren't really the danger.
It was more of, like, Annabeth versus Arachne was, like, the big thing that you wanted to be worried about. But he was like, I guess I need them to do something else.
Also, Leo had that whole thing going on with Gaia again.
Yeah. Yes, Bacchus was kind of like a bit of a turd, making them fight in a Colosseum way as entertainment. But I loved it.
Yeah.
It fit his character so well, and I enjoyed it.
The Nico thing kind of showing that Nico really toes the line between life and death, and really bringing Nico into the series as more than just a side character, I thought was really, really cool.
Do we want to talk about the ending of the third book?
I thought it was great.
I knew it was coming. I had it kind of spoiled for me, so I knew it.
I had it totally spoiled for me.
You told me I could.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be that.
I, like, knew it was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming, and then it was happening, and I was like, no.
But I thought it was really well done.
It ripped my heart out of my chest.
It ties Nico into the rest of the quest.
Yeah, a lot
more
better.
so than just the fact that, oh, you're going to the House of Hades, I'm a child of Hades.
It was a really, really, like, you thought the last two cliffhangers were bad. Now you have this cliffhanger.
That's the last thing to happen in the book.
I know, because I was writing this and then I was like, wait, I have more to say. Annabeth saying I love you to Percy. Wholesome. I love it. Absolutely golden. And then Annabeth being in trouble and then throwing her dagger into the water to get Percy's attention. And he comes back and saves...
You dropped this.
He comes back and saves her and, like, beats Octavian and everything. And he's just like, you dropped this. Was amazing. I love it so much. Okay, now we can talk about Leo and Archimedes. The guy that Annabeth gets the laptop from.
I can't pronounce his name.
But I love that Leo gets like that Archimedes thing.
But it's on such a different level because yes, Annabeth is intelligent. She's using architectural designs in that laptop. He gets a sphere. He can literally make it do basically whatever he wants it to.
Yeah.
If he can code it correctly, and that's really cool.
The whole water nymph bubbling well drowning sequence with Percy, Jason, and Piper, I think showed off Piper really well in the book too.
And it showed off that Percy's not invincible.
Yeah.
It really hammered that home that even in water, sometimes Percy's like in some trouble.
Like this water, not okay. I think it showed off all of the different point of views really well. There were 4 in this one instead of the standard 3.
Yeah.
I feel like Frank and Jason were kind of just there as extra strength for a lot of the book. They didn't have as much emotional growth, but like they were run through the ringer, I think, in the first 2. I still couldn't get a read on Jason.
Yeah.
I like him though. Especially since Piper also, we got her perspective and she was hesitant on their relationship and him. So it made me kind of feel that way too.
You really figure out why he's doing it, I think, in the next book. But he's battling between, am I Roman? Am I Greek? Where do I want to be? And is it okay for me to want to be somewhere else?
We're gonna move on to House of Hades. I have less to say about House of Hades. I will say the book was kind of depressing.
Yes.
Because you're seeing Percy and Annabeth freaking go through Tartarus, as well as all of the other people on the Argo.
Being sad
boy hours the entire time, like, we have to save our friends.
You're also going to the House of Hades.
And also, Leo, who is like, I think the light of, like, lighthearted, always fun and everything, you have him brought down to be so depressed because he feels like him opening the fortune cookie made them go into Tartarus, so he feels like it's all his fault. So it really brings the tone of the books down a lot. It's still good, but it was kind of sad.
You've also got the whole plot line between Nico and Hazel of only one child of Hades, Pluto, is going to reach the doors of death. Both of them think, oh, one of us is going to die, which that doesn't happen. But regarding Tartarus, it was built up by Nico especially being like, it almost drove me insane. So once it started, I was like, this, like, it's terrible. It's not, it's horrible. But it's not at that, like, insanity portion. And then it just kind of continues to build.
And you're like, okay.
I'm like, alright, I see it.
Alright, yep, I see it.
It shows that Percy's, like, one bad day from being kind of unhinged at times.
The Leo and Calypso chapters were so good, and because everybody else like has a significant other. Percy and Annabeth.
Yeah.
You got Jason and Piper. You got Frank and Hazel, and then it's Leo.
And then the Goddess of Revenge in the third book was like, you won't fit in.
And so he's like really doubting himself, and he's just looking for love. He just wants to be happy.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
Leo,
I'm single boy.
Leo just wants to be held, let's be honest.
Yeah. And then he gets Calypso, and oh my gosh, when he had to leave because the raft showed up, and he was like, no, I'll take you with me. I'll find my way back to you. He is so wholesome, and I love him so much.
The fact that he was able to do it again.
We'll get to that. Hazel's journey with magic, with Hecate, was also really cool, and like expanded her power set and everything, because her controlling the mist. Briefly mentioned in the first 5 books of Percy Jackson and Olympians, because Percy was upset that he couldn't control the mist, and like Chiron didn't tell him how to.
Yeah.
Brought back again with Hazel's learning how to do that.
And I think it's good for her, because really you look at what she can do, like, yeah, you can create tunnels underground and summon precious metals, but beyond that, you don't have a ton that's good in a fight.
I needed more Nico. I need a lot more Nico.
I really like that he became more than just this emo, angry kid that he was.
Because he was brooding for just a lot of the book, and I was like, I need Nico.
Like, you get to see why he's the way that he is.
Yeah. So rude of Cupid to just, like, out him like that to Jason. That was rude, Cupid. Like, what up with that? That wasn't cool, but I love how that connects Jason and Nico together. And I think that was the moment where I was like, I have solidified that I like Jason.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he has a connection to a character I really like, and that usually solidifies things for me, and how supportive he was of everything. I kind of forgot about Piper for a lot of the book. And Frank too, until like the end with the Legion and the weird poison cow thing happened. That was like Frank's big moment.
Piper is really much a secondary character in this book, and it's a good rotation throughout all the books leading up to Blood of Olympus, where you get everybody.
Oh, also, I knew Melly was pregnant from like the first mention of like something was going on with her with Coach Hedge, and that it was like revealed way later. I did not know that Hedge had gotten married, but I knew she was pregnant, and I was so happy he got to see his little precious baby.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Bob and Small Bob, excellent.
They're great.
I do like the whole turmoil for Bob of being like, Percy wiped my memory and then was kind of a jerk by not coming and seeing me, and I like how that impacted Percy, by the way. And then he deciding, no, I can be who I want to be, not who I
don't have to be evil and hate all demigods and everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Damison or Damison, I loved his little cozy hut. And he seemed like really cool, and I want a lot of fan art of
and he did the same thing of like choosing his new fate.
Overall, just for House of Hades, it took me a lot longer to read. I think it was because it was a little bit more of a depressing tone, and after everything that happened in Mark of Athena, it was just kind of a...
It was a slower read, You came down very much off of it. I wouldn't say I have a least favorite of the 5 books, but this certainly was the slower read.
Leo's chapter is always great, but they were very few and far between, and Nico was barely in it, and I really like Nico. So now on to Blood of Olympus. I will say it was pretty slow for me for Blood of Olympus until we got to that last battle, and then it was like, let's go.
It kept jumping around, and they kept jumping around, and you know what's coming, and it's so different from the last Olympian, because that's the battles the entire book.
Yeah.
Leo's like being mysterious and building things constantly, and nobody knows what he's building.
I knew the entire time. I was like, he's doing something for a Calypso, and if he's not, I'm going to be disappointed. But I have a feeling it's something for Calypso. Adored reading Nico's perspective and learning more about like why he's so brooding and all of that stuff, and his entire storyline of going through all of his abandonment and how he was getting over praising and liking and like loving Percy. Yeah. And then his cute like sisterly friendship with Reyna since he lost Bianca, I thought was really well done.
The willingness for him to die to get the Athena Parthenos to Camp Half-Blood.
He is so like, I will lay on the knife. I will put myself on that wire. And then his little blossoming romance with Will was adorable, and I need more. I think that comes in more in Trials of Apollo, which I haven't read yet. This was weird. There was not a lot of Percy in the last book, and I did not mind it. I'm usually a huge Percy stan. I need more Percy. I need more Percy. He wasn't in it a lot. Him and Annabeth kind of took a backseat in a lot of this last book, but I think that was because of all the crap they had to deal with in the 4th book.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, I need a moment, okay?
Yeah.
I love the Hunters and the Amazons coming back. The Hunters means Talia, and I love Talia. Yeah. And the fact that they came back in, as well as the Amazon chapter was like my favorite chapter.
And Raina's sister, whose name I can't pronounce.
They come back in. That was really cool. Yep. That whole chapter sequence was really, really exciting. And kind of played with my emotions a bit because I thought that all of the Hunters and Amazons died for a moment. And I was like, no, that he can't do that. And I was like, actually, he probably could because this is the last book. A lot of stuff can happen in the last book that's like permanent. But they weren't dead. And I was like, okay. I was scared that Talia died. But she didn't. The
undersea battle of Kim and Jason, where Jason kind of takes Percy's role, not necessarily of like fighting under the sea, but being the advocate for the forgotten gods. Because Percy said, he was going to do that at the end of it, and then forgot.
He did suffer from amnesia for a while, like right after that.
But Jason, and that ties into his ending
of like actually doing it to be a part of both.
Pontifex Maximus.
To be a part of both the camps and everything, and I think it was perfect because he is a lot more part of both camps than I think Percy ever was. Percy is like, no, I'm Greek, I'm gonna stay Greek.
Percy was named Praetor, but like the second that happens and has any input, he's gone.
He's like, no, my girlfriend's back, deuces.
Jason has his entire life at Camp Jupiter. He fights the Titan, and then he's got a good 7 months at Camp Half-Blood.
And he absolutely falls in love with Camp Half-Blood, but he still feels such a tie to Camp Jupiter, which I think just made him the perfect person to tie the two camps together, as well as being the person to advocate for all of the different gods.
And I like that it was Jason instead of Percy, because like you get to a point where you're tired of
everybody loving Percy for doing absolutely everything. Yeah. And it made Jason, his character, just so much more interesting. I was also okay with Annabeth kind of being on the side for a lot of the book too, because she had Mark of Athena being an absolute boss. She had all of the crap she had to deal with in House of Hades. And then this book, I'm like, you can take a break. It's okay.
I did like the godly parents fighting with their children. Like together, not against. I did like that. It was a bit short for me, but
so cool. It was really good. That last battle.
I'm not gonna lie, Aphrodite was kind of useless. She was like, hit him there, Piper, and Piper's doing all the work, and she's just like floating around, useless.
It was definitely gave me like cheerleader mom vibes of like, you do this, and everything in the stands, but not actually doing or helping at all, and the daughter's actually doing everything.
Also Nike, just everything about Nike's captivity was incredible.
Percy and Annabeth's plans to go to college in New Rome is adorable, and I love it, and they need to have a happy ending and life together. So last battle was intense, amazing, so good. Do not play with my emotions like that with Leo.
Festus coming back was great. Again, Festus coming back for the 3rd time, this time again.
Okay, but I thought everybody thought Leo's dead, and like I was like, he can't be dead, and then the chapters just kept going, being like, he's dead, and then Leo freaking finds Calypso again, and oh my god, that was just a beautiful ending to this series.
He's so dedicated to it, even like
so dedicated to it.
As they're flying to fight giants and trying to stop Gaia from waking, he's fiddling with this thing, trying to find this girl he spent 5 days with on a beach.
Good and satisfying.
Octavian's death needed to be worse. Needed to be a lot worse. I needed more. It was good because he was still fighting to be this all-powerful
and the fact that he did die, I was like, okay. But I felt like Rick Riordan isn't the kind of person to be like, let me just kill off kid characters and everything.
Yeah.
Unless it serves a purpose and a meaning.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yes, we wanted him to die the whole time, but he was like, it has to be done in a good way.
Yeah. I understand.
That's fine.
I understand.
But it's leading up the entire time that like 2 people have to die to like have their blood wake Gaia, and it keeps talking about how it has to be like Percy and Annabeth. That's like what she prefers. And I was like, you cannot kill off Percy and Annabeth. And then it gets to that point and it's like a tiny little scrape.
Yeah.
And then their blood drops.
And then a nosebleed.
Yeah, and it's like, that's it. That woke Gaia. And I was like, that's it, really? You made it seem like they had to die. But yeah, I thought it was a really good ending to the Heroes of Olympus. I still think that the last Olympian was a better ending to the book series. I felt a little bit more satisfied with everything at that one.
Because it was a little later, you got to see the progress and the new cabins being built. Whereas this, it was like...
This one, it's like...
3 days later. You get the really wholesome Jason and Piper moment on the rooftop. Because like that's her whole thing, that they kissed on the rooftop before the first book, and that was fake because Juno.
Yeah, and now it's not fake.
Yeah.
And it's so cute. So yes, I love this series. I am taking a bit of a break from the Rick Riordan series because I need a break, just mentally and emotionally. We'll read Trials of Apollo.
Yeah.
I want to read it. So that is our thoughts and feelings about the Heroes of Olympus book series. I really, really like it. It's amazing. But comment down below, who out of the 7 is your favorite character? I mean, mine's obvious. It's Annabeth.
Yeah.
But
Percy, because I mean that's who I always identified with growing up.
And I identify with Annabeth, so she's my favorite. But otherwise, Leo for me.
My Percy identification was very much like early on in the books where he's like very confused.
Uses sarcasm to get through everything.
Yes.
So if you enjoyed this video, guys, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And until next time, farewell.